get a podcast going, and we're live.
My name is Vatalii. Welcome to another episode of Savage World Smoking Sessions. Micah just tried to catch me up, but failed like a motherfucker. You can find me at Mo_Vatalii517 on Instagram. You can find us at Savage World 517 on Instagram. So yeah, today we got a guest with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? I'm HB the Grizzly. I represent Shrunken Head Entertainment. I don't know if you know about us, but we're a powerhouse of a bunch of hidden talent in the underground. We come from all four corners of different fucking great places in the underground. So, and if you're ever interested in looking at my stuff, you can find me on all digital outlets. You can find me on Instagram as HB the Grizzly, all one word, Grizzly, no E. I can't stress that enough, man. Like, everybody writes Grizzly with an E. I don't know if it's a T Grizzly thing, but no, with an Ly, no E. And you can find me on Facebook as well as Holly and Penny, because I'm not afraid of showing off my government name. So, what's up, Mo? Thank you for having me out here. What's up?
Prophit, talk your shit.
You can hit me up on Instagram, NusAbid, that's NUS.ABID.
Okay, and before we get much farther, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get paid. Hit the notification bell. It'll upload or notify you every time we drop new content. We got 2, 3, 4... A number of music videos about to drop. We got a bunch more podcasts. Three easy.
Yeah.
We're dropping podcasts as frequently as we can. We've been literally putting the hours into this, getting all the legwork handled. Join the Savage World VIP group. And is there any more church announcements? 1. We have decided as Savage World to start calling you the Black Sheep. So our fan base is now called the Black Sheep. When we refer to the Black Sheep, you will know who we're talking to. From now on, only people who have heard this part in this one episode of this one podcast even know that. So if you're one of those, you're lucky. And we're on. So, what's up, HB?
What's up, man?
Not shit. We've been smoking. I shot a podcast before this today with Killer King. That's going to drop 3 or 4 episodes away from this one because he was on our last episode. But yeah, other than that, we're just
kicking it,
getting high.
As always, I mean, that's what I was doing.
What you been up to?
And other than working a few under-the-table jobs, just collecting unemployment, just working on the music career ever since quarantine happened, all that shithole shit.
Yeah.
But, just, keeping it steady, grinding. I've had a really crazy 2020.
We all have.
Both good and bad, though.
For sure. There's been a lot of good. We were talking about that earlier today. Yeah. I don't think if COVID would have hit, we would have expanded our business past doing shows.
But think about what you did do since COVID.
Sure. Yeah. And that's the move, right? That was the only beautiful thing is that after I pouted for a couple weeks of this shit going that I couldn't go do shows, I was like, well, we got to fucking do something. And we kind of really, we were already in gear, kind of stepping hard. We were doing a lot of shows. And so we were hard stepping for a while, but, for us to be able to pivot, and I work more now than when we were damn near touring every weekend, so.
Well, that's good. And keeping yourself on the steady grind, like I said, just making money, you know how artists are, whatever it takes, we make sure we can do both.
For sure. That's why we do this, is so eventually every time somebody watches it pays a bill.
Yeah. Some people, I feel like every motive, with music, everyone's a little different.
Yeah.
But, speaking of 2020, though, let's go back, let's rewind. I'll tell you a little bit about what 2020's brought me. Because the universe works in mysterious ways,
Mm-hmm.
You say, if COVID didn't happen, we would have been able to do this. Well, I was actually scheduled to be on a tour with Scum and MMFD. Those are the homies out there. Razakel, the Slice Girls, that's on Shrunken Head. We were all planned to go on a tour, but just took a huge different direction, and we'd rather be safe than sorry because, it's just the more, professional thing to do.
For sure.
And more appropriate thing to do, given, if you're going to have a show right now, limit your space between others because COVID is out there, you guys. It really is. Wear your mask. I know it's all pain in the ass, but just get through it.
Sanitize your microphone.
Yeah, yeah. And don't put your microphones up to your mouth.
And sanitize them in between every
fucking God, yes. Bring your own damn mic. That's always helpful too. Like,
only a couple of us got them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like guns. Everybody talks about them, but only a few of us own them.
I like that one. Yeah, it's good. Yep. 2020 actually was on NetFest. Magic Ninja Entertainment.
Yeah, I saw some of that shit.
Yes. Also was on The Gathering in the Matrix. That's something that you heard of Gathering in the Matrix.
Yeah.
So my girl Roxy Red asked me to be on, and since she's a fellow, listener of my music and supporter, I just felt like, as one female artist to another, it's like, what I'm gonna do. Because I don't really know her husband that well, but he's heard of me, so. And it's all just been kind of crazy, but making, the best of it. And that's what artists do, It's like, whether, like with the money situation, we will work 2-3 jobs as long as we can continue our art. Mm-hmm. So, like, just quarantine, it doesn't matter. We're still going to do our art.
Yeah, I've been doing this for... Yeah. I mean, I got married 10 years ago. 6 months into our marriage, I started writing music. And she was super excited. And I think the roller coaster from that super excited to super excited where she's at now, it has been as crazy as it can get. I mean, being with an artist isn't easy.
No, I mean, it's definitely not for the weak-hearted. Yes, it's not easy being with an artist. I've learned this even before I became an artist, that being with an artist is not easy. But being an artist, you kind of start understanding.
Yeah, that's the crazy perspective.
You start to see, maybe I was this way because, from a different perspective, I'm an artist now. Yep. And I know how it is. It's not like you don't have control over everybody. That's, you don't have control.
Even more than that, I'll be in the middle of writing a song where I no longer have control of my emotions or the way I talk to you. Until I finish this song, I'll put my head in a certain space.
Yeah.
If I'm writing a song with my darkest thoughts are being poured out into a track, and my wife asked me if I want ham or turkey, like, the shit she has to deal with, where I'm like, immediately afterwards, I'm like, fuck, I gotta shift gears, go apologize, like, it's simple shit like that. Being with an artist, just the mentality and mindset of artists and how we are, isn't the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it starts to make sense. I think about, like, all the famous, painters and all the famous musicians and, like, Beethoven. Mm-hmm. None of their relationships worked out. They all were very lonely.
I got incredibly lucky.
And you got very lucky because it's
and
not...
we've been through it and we've had our trials, but she gets more angry at me if she feels like I'm slacking. So if I'm off, because I'm not working right now, so her big thing is, if she's working and helping pay the bills while I'm doing this, if I go a week without going and shooting a podcast or shooting some videos or in the studio, or she doesn't see me writing, she'll lose her shit over that more than anything. If she doesn't see me being creative, she's like, why the fuck are you not working? Like, the whole idea is for you to have the time to be creative and create. And if you're not going to create, the fuck on and go get a job. And like, she's strict with the way she views shit, but I can't blame her. And the respective part of that is, I'm a man who doesn't feel right if I'm not providing for my family, so busting my ass and working my ass off doing this stuff is how I get that. Because it might not pay every bill now, but the more we do this, the more money will come, and I can provide a better life for her than I could with the bullshit jobs I normally would work. So
Right.
it's a goal.
That's good. Like, well, I'm glad, because, not everyone has that solid foundation.
Right.
But as for those like me, being an artist is difficult to be with another artist as well. If you're an artist dating another artist.
Been there, fuck that.
I mean, I give love and respect to the ex-boyfriends, but it's 2000.
You're better than me.
It's another 2000. It's another year, dude. Like, and it's another day. and I need to open my heart and my mind to new people, new opportunities. And that's how you have to live life, because not everyone's meant to stay in your life forever.
For sure, and I hold grudges.
And you can't, that's no way to live though. Like, man,
I mean,
as much as I get the aggression, I'm HB the Grizzly. I fucking bite that shit with teeth of venom.
Right.
I know, but it takes a lot to push me over the edge. But once I'm calmed down, that means I don't give a fuck no more about anybody. And then I don't give a fuck no more. Sometimes you just gotta chuck it in the fucking bucket, man.
I'm a
Just chuck
person that, see, this is my problem, and the reason I hold grudges, and the reason they're beneficial to me, is I'm the person that once I forgive you, I'll let you come burn me again.
I
Because,
know,
and even if I didn't
shit.
tell you I forgave you, you could have no clue I forgave you. You might just hit me up, and I'm like, you know what? I've gotten over that. I've forgiven it. Once I do that, I will let you burn me again.
But let me
I'll have to get hurt and fucked up all over again. So I hold grudges. I don't fuck with people I don't fuck with. My favorite quote is, I got dope ass memories with people I'll never speak to again.
Let me just tell you this, though. Forgiveness does not require reconnection. Forgive for your own peace.
No, for
not
sure.
Forgive
And that's something I think I'm
for
learning.
anyone's peace but your own. Because if it's weighing you down, man, then it's affecting you more than it's affecting the people that are fucking with you. So you forgive for your own fucking peace, and forgiveness does not require reconnection.
I've gotten to the point now where when I have a problem with somebody, bullshit happens, I write the diss track, and I keep my mouth shut. And I don't release the diss track necessarily. I don't use the diss track. I don't send it to them necessarily, but I write and record the diss track. I have it now. And so then I remember the only time you're truly forgiven and I'm allowing you to reconnect is when I delete that diss track. If I delete that track, then we can really be cool. And there's a lot of diss tracks that, even though I haven't dropped them and I'm not talking shit and I'm not trying to fight nobody, like that shit, I keep it, and I can keep it in that song. I write fast and I write a lot. Like we were talking about earlier, I could sit in my room and write for days and not talk to anybody. Just a stream of instrumentals of me writing. Without a problem, I could write albums. But and that's my therapy a lot of the time. But yeah, that's where I drop a lot of shit. I think the more I write, the way I look at it is every time I write a song, I grow. I let something go. I learn something about myself. It causes me to interflect and like really reflect on who I am as a person when I'm writing. So it allows me to kind of shed shit. But I've got, my mental illness is off the charts. Like, doctors lose their shit when they come in.
Let me just tell you a little bit about how I feel on that. No, I didn't go into music originally for my own sake of fame, glory, money, because I actually have a hustle. I'm a skincare therapist.
That's
I'm a beautician.
my favorite people. My favorite artists are the ones that don't give a fuck.
So what it is, it's like when I first went into this, I just had a strict, plan to make myself feel better, because I was in a place where I lost all the people that I thought were my friends, and I lost the one person I wanted to spend my life with. And I almost lost my mother. She was sick with cancer. My grandfather died. And I kept a lot of my fucking life secret. And I just slowly shut off, because I didn't trust anyone I told anything to, couldn't confide to anybody. Dude, that's the one thing that I've learned about this underground scene, is you gotta be careful about who you talk to. And they will say they're your friend, but they'll take your personal shit and just go throw it out there. So
that's every music
thinking that it's gonna put them in good graces with the person they're trying to exploit you to. No,
whoever's the crowd favorite right now gets all the information.
Yeah, you just created your own fucking hell. Like, have fun. But other than that, music, I came to this music because I had a goal of putting my message in a bottle. And if one person picked that bottle up and I saved one person's life, I did my job as an artist. Because I didn't have anyone to save me. I didn't have anyone. I didn't want to ask for help anymore. I had to make my own help. So I reached for music, and music was that help for me. And I want this to be known for anyone that's at home. Like, don't give up on your art. It's gonna save you. It really
For sure.
will. Especially during times like this, dude. We need our art. We need our musicians. We need our artists. We need people to realize that it's okay to still feel things.
Every major art period is started after a disaster.
Yeah.
Something that shook the world. It always is. And you could tell we were getting to the end of an art age because people stopped caring enough to create. It was just shit that they threw together and hoped stuck for fame or stuck for money. I mean, it's the artists are what's going to fuel this world. It's the same. I think when you become an artist, a musician, or you write lyrics, at least if you write anything with any kind of, the minute you decide to write something with a conscious state, something to give a message, whether it's to save a life or to change something in government, you choose to be an activist whether you want to be or not. When you take a stance, that's why there's comedians that you can't stand, comedians that you love, and then comedians you're never sure about, and it's because they decided to or not to take a stance around yours. Once you put that shit out there, you are now an activist, and I take it very seriously about what I advocate for. When I was younger doing music, I didn't see it that way, and there's some songs, like we were about to drop a Halloween track where I was listening to my verse and some of the clips, like video clips we used in the hook area, and I was like, I don't know if I can consciously put this out. Because it's an old song that me and my homeboy did a couple of years ago, and we never really did anything with it. We didn't really release it. We performed it at a couple of shows, and we were like, let's just shoot a video for this and drop it this Halloween. And I'm like listening to it, like cringing at myself. And I was just talking with King about, like, I had this idea that like every 7 years or so, I have to stop and decide what decisions I made when I was completely stupid. Because like, this last 7 years contained a whole 3-year junkie run where I did all the drugs I could do and said, fuck everyone. So there's ideology in my brain that I developed during the time I was high and strung out. And so like, I have to revamp that every so often because I'm the one that like comes up with ideas and then that's what I believe until I consciously decide to revisit it.
Right.
And I think right now I'm in that rebuilding period. My music's getting way more in depth. We got a couple turn-up tracks on the EP, but me and Rolly, this tape really got into. I mean, he's got a lot of health issues, been in and out of comas. He had some shit happen with some court case stuff. He's gone through it the last year and a half. I lost my daughter for almost 2 years to a system that she should have been back in 3 months. But once you get trapped in the court system, it's like this never-ending bullshit. And yeah, it just like shit got rocked in a way that was unnatural to my life up to that point. I thought I had seen the worst. We have this concept that we talk about on this podcast a lot about like people who grew up in the struggle, whether you were selling drugs or just trying to live, whatever you were doing, like there's some elements of PTSD that you grew up just from living in poverty. It might be something as simple as you see great Kool-Aid and you're like, fuck that shit, I can't ever drink a glass of that at all because that's all you ever had as a kid growing up and most of the time it didn't have sugar. Or it's something as much as you hear a gunshot or a loud noise and it flashes you back to a situation.
Yeah, certain smells, certain sounds, senses. I mean, that's a lot. And it's like with the music, I mean, that's kind of like it either brings you back to remember or it brings you to, recover. So I get, transitioning from several different ways of life from going through shit. I believe that the first step is admitting. You admit that you are fucked. Like, you admit there's fucked up shit.
Oh, no, for sure.
The second step is trying to recover from that. That is, channeling all your energy into trying to move on. Third is, acceptance. It's like accepting that certain things about yourself you can't change, but you gotta work on them.
For sure.
Like, music helps that. It reminds us of the things that we need to work on. Also reminds us of certain people to stay away from.
Well, and there was people, so somebody was telling me, they're like, you just got to go on a good psychedelic trip every 3 months. And they are explaining what it does for them. And I'm like, to be honest with you, when I sit down and I really write a song from my heart, it does the same things they explain to get out of it. Like the same thing, the thing that they go and do drugs and plan out this whole experience for, the results they gain, the self-infliction, the closer with nature and reality, the understanding of I'm smaller than I think I am. Every time I write a song that's truly from my heart, where I'm not bullshitting, I'm not trying to show off for anyone, I don't care. Like there was a song that it should come out soon. I'm not sure how soon. It might just be a single by me, but there's a song where I talk about being molested when I was 6. And I talk about that in the song. Now, what rapper do you hear out here? Big tough guy did gang shit that admits to shit like that. Like when I write songs like that, where I'm like, no matter how people take it, no matter what my fears are, people are gonna think of me while writing this. When I write one of those, I get the same effects, the same benefits of going on an acid trip or shrooms, and it's
Therapy.
One of the greatest things about being an artist.
So yeah, that's like, so you've heard my album Wake Up. I have one.
I've heard most of it.
So let me give you a rundown of what HB the Grizzly was. HB the Grizzly is a beast that lives inside of all of us that everyone can look up to. You know, when you're at your weakest, just remember that there's a beast that dwells inside you. My first EP was Wake Up. My EP has Stay Woke, which is a very controversial, political song that's touched a lot of people's hearts, including Lex the Hex, which we revamped that song 2020. And it's called Sleep at Night. If you are ever interested, you can find it.
I've seen that.
Yeah, Sleep at Night with Lex the Hex. He actually came to me and asked me to do the song for his EP because he was so fascinated by my sound. And we've been doing work ever since. But the EP, Stay Woke, is supposed to be like the steps to realizing my worth. You know, everybody goes through these steps and everybody heals differently, whether it's music, whether it's a vice, whether it's tripping on acid and shrooms.
Right.
Everybody heals differently, but mine is my music, because when I didn't have anything, I had my music. I went into it strictly to save myself, and I ended up saving others in the process. I feel like that's the most rewarding thing as an artist, is knowing that, and that's like why I do skincare, for instance. I like making women feel beautiful. I like making people feel good about themselves. And that's just, it's a rewarding thing that I do. And Stay Woke, and I also have Chronic Flow, which was a really big, hit on my album, which is like, fuck the haters, just get high, good vibes, nothing but good vibes. And I'm going to be coming out with a prequel this January, not this January, but I can't really drop a time because it's going to be somewhere between January and April. I can't give it. I don't want to give an exact date.
I get
there
it.
are plans in motion, but my prequel, which is Hibernate, haha pun, HB the Grizzly, Hibernate, now that is actually an LP, and it's going to be featuring all the other steps to waking up, the deep parts of my pain, my past, things about my father, things about...
I've dug into a lot of family shit that...
things about my
outside
father.
entities have asked me not to speak on that. I started speaking on the music, and that's just therapeutic.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is that, music, when it comes down to it, I want to exactly, with my name and with what I portray, I want people to know that it doesn't matter how defeated you feel, you have a beast inside you.
For sure.
And you have a voice. You may be silenced, but you still have that voice inside of you. And I was silenced for so fucking long, being kind of put in the shadows of another artist and just kind of pushed aside. And I've
been through that a few times.
But I also have them to thank for showing me that. Sometimes you gotta thank the haters. You gotta thank the people that have fucked you over, because you wouldn't be where you are at right now if it weren't for them. And free promotion.
I could argue that against some of them, but
let it go, man.
There's a few of them.
The thing is that if they aren't feeding you, fucking you, or filling your pockets, they can fuck off.
Oh,
That's
I've been
how I
about
look
that
at
for
it.
my life.
They're gonna benefit you, then they ain't gonna benefit those thoughts inside your.
I
I'm
try
learning.
to backstep because I lived that to an extreme for a very long time, and I now am at the point where I have to dial back and go, okay, but some people are still people, because I'm the one that's like, if you do not meet these standards of what you do for me in life, then fuck off, and I don't want to know you. I don't care. And so I had to learn to dial back because I realized that those people are still people and they still have feelings and they're reaching out to try to be friendly with me, and I'm like, nah, fuck you, you don't matter. I took that no new friends thing to a whole new level. But I got to a point where, like, there's some dope new people I've met.
Yeah.
Nicole
definitely.
lets us shoot our podcast here every week. I haven't known her that long. I met her at the same time Prophit met her. We were stomping the streets in protest.
Fuck the police, murdering
favorite.
bitches.
We
Shout out to Terry.
That's how we met. So when you find people doing that kind of interesting shit, usually you click. Now there's some fucking pieces of work out there, and there were some real pieces of shit that were out there on both sides. But it didn't matter because you found the people you clicked with, and then you had a fucking great time while doing something. You were doing something, anything.
Something important.
We spent our whole summer. I mean, COVID fucked us on every show, so it just gave us all the time in the world to just kick it up at the Capitol.
Yup.
We're blocks away. We can give a fuck.
Find good in the bad, man.
Right.
Find good in the bad.
And we made a lot of good connections. A lot of great podcasts are coming up because of the work we put in out there. There's a lot of people that are willing to come sit down with me that wouldn't normally do something like this, but will because they saw that me and Prophit and Nicole and a few others were out there every fucking day for months. Just
And Jimmy.
going the fuck off.
Wow. Real dedicated.
Man, there wasn't shit else to do around here.
And you have
Everything
to be.
was fucking closed.
You have to be too.
Look,
Don't be exposing us like that.
it's not
Come on,
even
man.
that though, but like screaming "fuck the police," which is something I wholeheartedly believe in.
Yep.
Was something I had a great time doing when I had nothing else to do.
True.
And the fact that I knew they wasn't gonna come ID me out of everybody in the crowd, I was good. I was like, we're gonna
Which
take
is
off and I'll
fucked.
fight whoever.
But yeah.
I can cheers to that. Cheers to cheers.
For sure. What are we at time check wise, my guy?
We are sitting at 27 minutes.
Oh, so we're like close to the halfway mark where we should probably spark this other blunt, huh?
Go for it.
You can go ahead and pull it out the box and spark that motherfucker up if you would like to.
Oh, yeah.
I tend to get comfortable over here and not move after we start this bitch. Mike is always trying to see me wobble getting up off of the couch, so once I get posted, I'm in for the day.
Bring that ashtray halfway.
Oh, you for sure.
Bring that ass halfway.
Oh, you got a lighter?
Be easy, killer. You're topping
shit.
me.
I'm peeking? Huh. I'll be good now.
I'll
That
be good.
lighter sign will be good. But yeah,
So, let's just switch gears here.
For sure.
Outside of the artist world, what are some of your favorite strands to smoke, man?
Hey.
this is my story with weed. I was high every day from like 16 till 28-ish when my case with my daughter started. I was on drops for 2 years. So my strains, I smoked Gorilla Glue and Death Star pretty much exclusively for the last 3 years before I quit smoking. Since I've been back, I couldn't tell you. I don't even ask strain names anymore. I just, whoever my plug is brings me a bag and it smells good and I'm happy.
Really?
We
Yeah,
had
I
some
like
straight
it.
indica the other day that was pretty
So you like the body high?
I like it all. I'm an addict that can't do drugs anymore, so this is kind of like whatever I get, I'll function better anyways. So
We'll see.
I'm the motherfucker that'll smoke an indica and go clean the house. I'll write 8 songs. I'll fucking hit the stage and go fucking crazy. Like, I've done so many drugs in my life that weed just makes me like a normal person.
What's your term for normal though? Because normal's vastly overrated, bro.
By normal, I mean not robbing people and doing hard drugs that would probably.
So not a criminal.
Yeah, like being a normal fucking person where, you know, now if the cops stop me, it's because they were profiling me in some way rather than that I'm actually doing shit.
Well, I like sativas.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm keen in the weed business. I've been smoking steady since I was 13. Sorry, Mom, if you see this. Yes, I've been smoking since I was 13 fucking years old.
I started smoking pretty early too.
I tried to quit smoking. Listen to this shit. I tried to quit smoking back in like June.
It's a bitch.
And I thought picking up vape was gonna help. No. Help my anxiety there for a minute, then it just ended up destroying my lungs, and I'm still pissed off and not stoned. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna start smoking
I
weed
smoked
again.
some CBD stuff for a little while during my drops, but then I kept dropping dirty for THC.
Oh no.
So but it would be like THC that would like disappear after one day. And it was very confusing, and I just stopped.
Do you remember that weed that would come in brick form?
Yeah,
and
I sold a lot of it.
And it smelled like cat piss.
Sometimes we would make it smell like cat piss.
How did you make it smell?
You put it in the corner by the tree the cat pisses on. And then they piss on it.
So you're saying you sold
Cat piss weed?
like
That was a common hustle move. What's the
Yeah,
problem?
no, she's